Hey, No Brains, No Headache listeners. You can find every episode on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Episodes are available to watch on YouTube, where you can subscribe, like, and comment on each episode. Make sure to follow No Brains, No Headache on your favorite social media platform for up-to-date news, clips, and poorly timed jokes. Now let's get into this week's episode.
No brains, no headache. That's the way I like it. Turn my worries into jokes. Set them on fire while we light it.
Welcome to No Brains, No Headache podcast, episode 288. What's up, everybody? We are back for yet another recording of this mindlessly entertaining show. I'm going to be your host today. Name's Jordan Weichel. Happy to be here. Damn glad to do so. Next to me is my co-host, my confidant, my longtime friend, fellow comedian. It's the very talented, the very funny. I like to call him Ongo. It's Matt Cleary. Ongo, how are we doing today?
You know, I had a pretty big weekend for like endorphin hits. So yesterday was a real low moment because I came down off of that. So a lot of
Always
sleeping.
tough.
Yeah. But I got the opportunity to open for a comedic duo called I Mom So Hard and Dimitri Martin the next night. And it was really cool, but completely different crowds, because the first crowd was 95% women.
Nice.
And like at one point in their show, they're like, any nurses out there? And like the whole crowd was like, woo! And like, okay, a lot of nurses out there. And then they're like, any teachers out there? And like the same people were just like, woo! And I'm like, okay, guys, we all can't be teachers and nurses.
They're actually the nurse at the school, and they actually have to teach health class. So
Yeah, so everyone was a teach and a nurse. A nurse and a teacher, a nurse, a church. Never mind. But I found out that I don't prepare well for shows, because I got there and he's like, do you want to do a sound check? And I was like, yeah, I grabbed it. I was like, test 1, 2. I'm like, yeah, that should work. And just like put it back on the stand. And then the moms came out there and they were like, sound check over here. And they were like clapping and doing other stuff. And I was like, oh, well, that made me look bad. So I don't like you guys anymore.
like they were walking around the stage doing different sounds in different areas.
Yeah. Like they're like, how do we look over here? And I was like, okay. And then I go up to the dressing room and I just started drinking beers that I brought by myself. And one of them like walked in to like go to the other side of the dressing room, because they like lock in. They would literally like sit in front of a mirror and like rehearse their lines, like total professionals. And like one of them locked in and I was like arm deep in my bag, like searching around for another beer that I brought. And like I had my backpack on my whole arm, like trying to like get around my coat that I had in there. But yeah, I just got obliterated on Friday night. Great show. Saturday, a little tough coming back from that. Didn't do as well, but you know, you live and you learn. I'm not going to learn.
Yeah, that's always interesting to see other comedians and just how they prep and go about things. Like usually, like that venue makes sense for a sound check, and like usually if I've done sound checks in the past, I mainly just want the comedians to first of all be on stage just so they can like kind of visualize and see what they're working with. And yes, it is to make sure the microphone is working. I mean, it should. But for me, it's mostly like I also just want the comedians to hear themselves talk, especially in a venue like that, because it was at the Belle Mahoose, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so definitely want to, get them comfortable on stage. But yeah, you won't see me walking around the stage clapping like a goddamn fairy, trying to figure out how the sound is over in the corner. But wasn't that first duo, were they both on stage at the same time?
Yeah, they had it down. I mean, they've been doing it for like 10 years together, but they had it like every single thing they would say, like they would have it choreographed so perfectly, like to butt in at the like right time. Like it was insane. and they had so much energy. Picture me on stage, exact opposite of that. That's what they were.
So was it just you opening and then straight into
Yeah.
the headliners pretty much?
It was kind of nice though, because I didn't really have to like announce them because they both had like videos that would open for them pretty much. So I would just be like, this person's coming up next, and I would just walk off the stage. And like I went after I did my set before Dimitri Martin, I walked out and I was like, he's not backstage. So I was like, oh, I wonder, like, did he forget to come down here? So I go up and like walk by his dressing room, and I was like, they're playing your intro video right now. He's like, it's 9 minutes long. And I was like, okie dokie then. Just kept walking.
Yeah, standing backstage for 9 minutes doesn't sound
No.
ideal, but to each their own. Were they cool people?
Yeah, I mean, they were both awesome. They're just like actually like normal people, which you don't really get a lot of the times. So it was really cool.
Did you try to take Dimitri Martin over to Elbow Room after the show?
I don't think there could have been a person more uncomfortable in Elbow Room in the entire world than Dimitri Martin. He went into the dressing room and he was like, man, it's bright in here. So like I was having a conversation with him and he was unscrewing light bulbs.
Really?
So it wouldn't be as bright. But I was like, I mean, and then I want to know, like, what would you have on your rider? Because I got to see like some of that stuff. And like most of the time, like I get it, like it's like pop, water, like this stuff. But there was entire thing of blueberries, an entire like what do you
Just
call it?
unnecessary.
A bushel of bananas, like 6 bananas. And then a bag,
Specifically 6.
yeah, and then a bag of oranges.
Is this
And-
Steve Jobs you're opening for or what?
But then I was like, thinking about it, I'm like, did he just have them grocery shop for
Is
him?
Is this a koala bear that you're opening for?
I was like, I don't even know how one person could eat. If you did, I feel like you'd be physically ill if you ate that much bananas. And
Yeah, it sounds like his rider is also the menu for a sloth at a zoo, like their lunch.
just,
A bushel of bananas.
yeah.
But it is like,
Why is there a bunch of old carp down here? It's like, well, I like to eat that when I get back to the hotel room, you know?
well, as a self-proclaimed backstage mom, because when we would put on shows, I just wanted to make sure everybody was comfortable. Usually the comedians we hired weren't really requiring a specific rider, but I just wanted to make sure everybody had what they needed. So probably just my favorite foods would be on the rider. Definitely some chicken wings of sorts. You know, that's probably not the best pre-show meal, but post-show, you know, it'd be nice just to kind of sit down, unwind with some chicken wings. Throw some snacks in there, water, some sodas, some beers. But then we get into like the random items. Like, have you noticed that when we do shows, I always bring a little thing of baby powder in case people's like hands are all sweaty or they're just nervous, so then they can put some baby powder on their hands, keep them bone dry. That's usually go to like pen and paper or permanent marker of some sort. I don't know how many times I've had shows or even just attending an open mic and like seeing somebody, because like it's sometimes at open mic spots it's like really dark, and so when you're writing with pen on paper you can barely see it. So that's why I bring the permanent marker, so you can have like some bold lettering if you wanted some sort of cheat sheet or set list, whatever you want to call it. Maybe some like hand sanitizer, like Kleenexes or something, you know, just like some paper towels or something. Cause I just feel like most green rooms are just like, it's like a couch and some chairs and like a bathroom.
Yeah.
Like that's usually it.
That's pretty much what was in mine. And I was like, I looked up and I was like, oh, there's a clothes iron. I'm like, fancy. And then the guy comes in, he's like, yeah, someone needs this clothes iron. And I was like, Oh, the only thing I had in my room. And then
I feel like if you're ironing your clothes before the show, but you have your lines rehearsed, you're just the priorities are all
you're
out
just
of whack.
essentially doing household chores at that point. Like you just, wow, man, I just need to figure this out. But I did take just a gross dump like before the Friday show. And the manager for I Mom So Hard walked in. She was like, I'm just gonna use your bathroom quick. They're in the one that's in ours. And I was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, it has to smell like absolute Chernobyl in there right now.
Yeah, that's brutal timing. I think maybe for my rider, especially this time of the year, I'd put like a tax advisor on there, and then the tax advisor would show up, and I'd just pull out a file of papers and be like, "All right, we got about 45 minutes to get these taxes done." Let's
Well, the
start
show will be
tracking."
done in about 4 hours, so I'll give you that.
Yeah, I expect my taxes to be complete. Or you're just like, "Can I get a therapist on your rider?" And you just have a quick little therapy session before the show. I mean, you really could get a lot done. It sounds like, Dimitri or whoever ordered the fruit. I don't know if it was Dimitri or the moms or what, but I feel like, yeah, at that point you're just doing his grocery shopping.
Yeah. Well, it was classic moms too, because I was kind of like just walking around, like drinking beer, walking out, and like coming back and forth. And I'd walk by, and they kept trying to give me food. They're like, "Have you eaten dinner yet tonight?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm good. I'm just gonna have as many beers as I can, and then go out there and bomb." Um, but speaking of beers, Bar Rescue is back, and I'm pretty confident in saying that there is no better TV show in the world than the first 5 minutes of a Bar Rescue episode.
When he's just hollering at him.
Yeah. When he like goes into the kitchen and destroys the kitchen, and then he's like, we're not gonna open until this place is all cleaned up, and like he did most of the damage.
Sorry, I looked up Motley Crue's rider. A 12-foot long boa constrictor, a submachine gun,
That can't be real.
creamy peanut butter.
That one's way over the line.
I do not want to know what the peanut butter was for.
Well, it's if you have a 12-foot long boa constrictor and peanut butter.
If there's a 12-foot, now this article says 13-foot, so somewhere in that ballpark. What if they whip out a tape measure and they're like, this one's only 10.5 feet, get this out of my face? If there's a boa constrictor in my green room, I'm not showing up to the show. I just have zero interest in hanging out with. I don't want to have crippling anxiety before my show.
So you know the Cash Me Outside girl from
Dr. Phil.
She had a musical career, and her rider included a 50-inch TV with Netflix and a DVD player, 3 fidget spinners, 5 Gildan or Fruit of the Loom brand white tank tops, 4 large Domino's pizza, 1 fruit platter with no pineapple, and an extra $750 per diem. So I feel like her rider is just asking for more money. 1, 2, asking for
Clothes?
five tank tops is just shopping at that point.
Yeah, I will. I'll take in. I want an air fryer, a Keurig. I want one of those Ninja Whippet thingies, or
Want
creamies.
I want $40,000 for a down payment for my house.
I still think the tax advisor is the way to go.
I mean, that's actually one of the better ideas.
Yeah, just have a CPA ready to rock and roll, and just bring your W-2s, slap down a folder full of receipts and W-2s, and be like, all right.
Dude, Ed Sheeran's rider. He needs to do better. It costs a total of $60. It's a 6-pack of Diet Coke, a 6-pack of Fanta,
That's
six-
12 drinks.
a 6-pack of Sprite, and a jar of honey.
Okay, 18 drinks. Even if it's beers, that's like a lot. I feel like, especially just very popular bands or artists, if they have such an extensive rider, like one of their roadie crew members is like at the end of the day, it's like, all right, load up all of our groceries for the is that what a rider is? Is just a grocery list for their bus afterwards?
I mean, it kind of seems like it.
I want an air mattress, a pump for the air mattress, a set of sheets to go on top of that.
Dude.
I want a comforter and 2 pillows. It's like, all right, so we're just gonna take a nap.
This is all that was on DMX's rider. 1 bottle of Hennessy and 3 boxes of condoms. That's
Once again, just unnecessary. Well, maybe necessary, but is DMX, is that a group or is that a single person?
that's a single person. They were gonna come to the Bismarck Community Bowl, and it was called like Riot at the Bowl or something, and then they didn't show up and everyone else did, and some dude got stabbed. Oh man. Yeah. Or Meek Mill just requested every meat and fish known to man: jerk chicken, ribs, steak, barbecue chicken, shrimp, roast turkey, salmon, trout, mahi, snapper, Chinese stir fry, spaghetti, lasagna, veal. I feel like he just named every food that he knew and was like, that's my rider.
I'm just proud of DMX for practicing safe sex. I mean, that's huge. I'm also a little still confused on Cash Me Outside Girl asking for both the Netflix and a DVD player. Does Netflix not take away any need for a DVD player? Are we just like popping in Sweet Home Alabama on DVD?
Yeah, it's like maybe she has like a copy of Wedding Crashers and it got taken off of Netflix, and that's what she's wanting to watch. I don't know.
Honestly, keeping a spare copy, DVD copy of Wedding Crashers around is a pretty good idea. I would say
the guy that goes around and he's just been trying to collect as many copies of Wedding Crashers as he can.
I have seen that, yes.
Yeah, he has like 3,000 copies of Wedding Crashers on DVD.
It's probably like 2,998 more than you need.
Yeah.
I would say having a DVD copy of Wedding Crashers and then once again the tax advisor would probably be.
I think asking for just more money, like asking for everything and then an extra $750 just because, you know.
What if you're just like, I want a Michael Jordan Fleer 1986 PSA graded 10 trading card? It's like, okay, so you just bankrupt the venue because they have to get you your trading card that it's on eBay by the time they take stage.
Oh yeah, they're just like, we need you to sell this before they get off stage or our check will not clear.
Oh, that's interesting.
Any more housekeeping?
Not really. Sorry to cut you off from Bar Rescue. The rider was a very interesting start to the show, so let's get into it. Episode 288.
Okay. Let's party.
Growing up, what computer games did you play as a kid?
Like the Backyard series, Backyard Football, Backyard Baseball. I think I did Backyard Basketball. I wasn't a fan of that. Football was the best. I remember getting Javon Curse on my team, notable DN for the Titans. and just putting him as like running back or tight end. Nobody
Oh.
could tackle the guy.
Do you remember that pinball game that was on like all of our school computers?
Yeah, for a while there, if you ever got like a new computer or whatever, it would just like that was the first thing you saw was what is it like Galaxy Arcade
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah, that pinball game was awesome. Also, I think it's the reason I have anxiety because pinball, there's just no stop to it. You don't get any break.
Yeah, no, that I mean the cool thing about the pinball on your computer is you don't have to pay, you know?
Yeah.
You just keep playing. And I'm still pretty convinced that like leaderboards on pinball machines, whether it's like a classic pinball machine at an arcade or just the Galaxy Quest whatever one on your computer, I feel like they just made up the leaderboard and just put a bunch of numbers behind
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Another one, like, did you remember like slime soccer and slime basketball and stuff where you had the little guys that would go back and forth?
No, I think I'm thinking of like an Xbox game. What's the soccer ball one where you drive the cars around and try to score?
Rocket League. It's like,
That's what I'm thinking of.
yeah, it was that before. It was like 2D and you just had like a half circle guy that would just go back and forth. It was awesome.
Do you ever meet somebody who is like a really big gamer and you're like, "Oh, what do you play?" You're just trying to hold conversation because I don't play video games. Like I know what some of them are, but you're like, "Oh, what do you like to play?" And they're like, "Rocket League mostly." It's like, okay, so just like the free game that comes with the Xbox then. Tetris.
Every time I have like a free night, which happens like once every 3 weeks, I'm like, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fire up my $800 Xbox that I haven't played yet, and I'm gonna start playing Xbox. And then it like pans forward to 3 hours later, and I'm just stoned staring at a wall. Damn it!
You like set the box down, but you didn't unbox the Xbox.
Oh, that happens all the time. Or like I'm like, yeah, I don't think this thing works, and it's because I didn't plug it into the wall.
You don't have the power cord hooked up.
Yeah, the power cord's still in the box, which I'd thrown away.
It's like that time you had your phone in your pajama pants and you'd like,
And I
puked
pooped
all
my
over 'em.
pants. Yeah, never
Classic.
forget. But do you remember the game Spank the Monkey?
Yeah, wasn't that the one where it would like calculate how much force you had?
And like how many miles per hour? And the whole game is, you guessed it, you would just spank the monkey. And then if you spanked it hard enough, it would like play like
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
like thinking about it now, kind of seems pretty racist.
Yeah, there's a bit brutal.
Yeah.
You know, spanking is no longer a thing. I wouldn't know. I don't have any children
Yeah.
to spank, or I guess you could spank anyone.
Yeah.
In your adult years, spanking takes on a whole different meaning.
It does.
It goes from such a bad negative thing to kind of am I okay in the head kind of thing.
There's a tipping point in your life right around 12 and a half where spanking becomes good.
Depending on who you're with, it could be rather good.
It's like swimming. If you're fully clothed, probably bad. If you're in a bathing suit, probably good. If you're naked, 50-50.
When you get older, if somebody asks you what your stance on spanking is, when you're younger, it's like, oh, well, yeah, when I get in trouble, I get spanked. When you're older, it's like, well, you can spank me, but only if you're also pulling my hair. It's like, oh, okay, so multitasking.
It's like, what's your thoughts on spanking? Like, I'm going to need a little bit more context before I answer that.
What are your thoughts on spanking? Yeah,
this is a bad story to tell, but has nothing to do with spanking. But I was in the 3rd grade and I was playing candy stand mini golf. I don't know if you remember like the candy stand. Um, it was awesome. Yeah, but it was a mini golf game. It's kind of like another like addicting games kind of thing. And so I was playing candy stand mini golf and I was gonna break my record. And the last hole is a bunch of dudes that if you get too close to the side, their tongue comes out. And I didn't get my high score and I started crying by myself.
I do remember the game. I just looked it up. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Or it's more of like an iPhone game, but Paper Toss.
Oh, Paper Toss is fantastic.
Yeah, I think we definitely grew up kind of in an interesting time for that sort of technology because like when we were in school, like pre-college anyway, leading up to that, we were in the era where like you would still have like a flip phone that really didn't have much capability for game playing. However, you would have your iPod Touch as well. And most of the time, like, didn't really require like connection to the internet.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could easily, entertain yourself for an entire day. You have your flip phone in one hand, your iPod Touch in the other, you're good to go.
Yeah, and I would have a lot of movies that we're going to talk about later on this episode downloaded on that iPod Touch.
Yeah, downloading movies to your iPod Touch. Wow, what a good feeling.
I remember like one of my friends on like a wrestling trip had his iPod and there was nothing to do on this trip. And I remember he had Tropic Thunder downloaded and he did the thing where you have one headphone and he has the other and then you bang afterwards.
It helps pass the time. Or if you ask like a gamer, like, oh, what do you like to play? And they're like Crash Bandicoot, and you're like, I was gonna guess Fortnite, but Crash Bandicoot's cool too.
I love when they try to, you're like, I don't know what that is. And then they try to explain the game. I had asked one of my friends, he's like, yeah, I'm playing this game. I'm like, I've never even like remotely heard of that. And he was like, well, you're a Monkey King that lost it. And I was like, okay, I'm out. Like, no, stop.
Did you ever play the game Driver on like PlayStation?
Yeah.
That game like made no sense. It was just kind of like Grand Theft Auto, but you just drove around. I mean, the name really gives it away. You're just driving around, right? I mean, what was the whole point of that game? Did I play a lot of it? Yes.
The best is like Tony Hawk's Underground, the first one. They kind of like combined it with Grand Theft Auto, but like they made the mission so stupid that would like never happen. They were like, Jeff needs 4 bananas on the other side of town, and all
for
4
his
bananas.
rider list.
Yeah,
he's performing at the Bell Mayhews tonight. He needs a bushel of bananas,
and all 4 bananas are at different people's houses. You have to skateboard to each one of their houses. And I was like, here's a wild idea: skateboard to the gas station and just buy 4 bananas.
Is it? This sounds a lot like Uber Eats.
It essentially is Uber Eats, and
I
have
missions
a great
on these games is Uber Eats tasks.
There was the first thing you do in Tony Hawk's Underground is one of your friends, someone steals his skateboard and breaks it into a bunch of pieces, and you have to go get the pieces so that he can skateboard. I'm like, if your skateboard gets broken into 6 pieces, you're not using that as a skateboard anymore. Firewood, maybe.
It sounds like you just need a new deck.
Yeah.
That would probably, you just take the hardware from one over to the other. I mean, if I'm understanding that correctly.
Yeah. What do you got for Gilbert Living?
Oh man, Gilbert Living page on Facebook has just provided me with some real doozies on this show. So I just want to give a quick thank you to the participants of Gilbert Living.
How would you compare it to BPRN?
I would say different because there's a lot of people moving to this area from all over, transplants from all over. So it's not as like local or personal, I would say. I feel like BPRN, Bismarck People Reporting the News, is just ridiculous. You might as well pull up BPRN and see if there's any doozies, but
I love the
I-
last time I did that and someone's just like, I need a ladder.
all right. 4 days ago on Gilbert Living, this person named Tylo, I'm not going to assume their gender, and you'll know why in a second. The post says, new to AZ, having a girls' night out, best places to go, question mark. Preferably would like to stay in Gilbert, ... LGBTQ friendly is a plus. We're in our mid-20s. Also, if anyone else is looking for friends, we'd love for some others to join us. It's just me and one other friend. Okay, so it's just two girls going out is what I'm girls' night out. It's just two of us. Okay, so you and your friend are just going out for drinks and dinner. These comments are where it gets juicy. LGBTQ friendly and Gilbert don't usually go well together. LMAOOOO. I would try Phoenix or Tempe instead. Somebody commented on that comment. The worthless leftist show the most hate. Gilbert is more diverse than people think.
I'm assuming it's more diverse than most of the country.
Okay. I didn't see this update. The author responded, said, thank you for all the recommendations. I'm turning off comments now because basic respect and inclusivity apparently still needs to be learned by some adults.
So mind you that there are 40,000 some people, 53,000 people in this Bismarck People Reporting the News, and someone commented someone's address and then put your mailbox key is hanging at your mailbox.
Oh, great. I would definitely like the 53,000 people to know that my mailbox is just exposed. Also, if you have their address, what is so wrong with just taking the key and taking it to their door? Maybe even knocking on the door and saying, hey, I found your key. I thought you might want it.
Here's a wild idea. Wait one day until the person goes to get their mail again, and they'll realize their key is in there.
Somebody commented on this one. I have some bad news. LOL. And then that was it. They didn't elaborate on that. No one cares if you're gay. Why does a place have to be, quote, friendly? They do, though. Wait, saying LGBTQ friendly doesn't necessarily mean someone is gay. Just maybe they don't want to hang out with a bunch of bigots.
Someone posted on this and said, I have a friend that's disabled and she hasn't needed help like food stamps before, but now she's struggling. What's the best way to go about it? Top comment. Your best bet is to get a time machine, go back to November 2024 and vote for the Democrat.
You're still going to be broke, but there's a person on here who commented and say that they are a 60-year-old gay man and they have never had any issues.
I need some advice. Last year, a friend of mine was blacklisted from McDonald's. I need to know what that entails.
Somebody said, what does LGB friendly mean? I've been to a lot of places and never been asked my sexual preferences. Somebody also said that you won't fit in Gilbert unless you're white and Mormon.
It's true.
It is true. I mean, I'm such a ding dong of like still getting used to the area because I will drive like through Gilbert on my way to like a hiking spot or something of that nature. And every time I always ask myself, I'm like, wow, why are there so many Mormon temples over here? And it's like, well, Jordan, rocket scientist, it's a Mormon community, you moron.
Someone said, just looking to put out some feelers out there to see if anyone has made homemade baby foods or if there's any interest for it. That was 5 hours ago, and someone just commented, doesn't seem like there's much interest.
Isn't homemade baby food just any food made into like pudding
Puree.
form?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, just throw a hot dog in a bun and a magic bullet and just
It's like homeboy from Accepted getting fired from the gas station for making a shrimp slushy. It does sound pretty terrible.
I was hungry and thirsty at the same time. Looking for a 1-bedroom for under $600. Top comment, move to a different city.
Yep. The rest of these comments pretty much they just shit on Gilbert. But yeah.
Oh shit, 2 hours ago I was mentioned in it.
Oh God.
It's just a news article that I was in.
For your show?
It was KX News did an article about me and Cole and comedy.
What would they say?
It was 2 minutes long.
A 2-minute read. Journalism at its finest.
At one point, I was like, I didn't think they were going to put this in there, but I was like, I'm getting interviewed. I'm like, yeah, it's just a fun time. And, you know, you can come out and just, and I was going to say, just pound some drinks. And then I was like, and have fun. I was like, I don't know.
Can go out and have fun and have fun.
Put 6 packs of soda in here. All right. What else we got? Oh yeah, small town scandals. So this is absolutely mind blowing.
Hit me with it.
So what brought me to this is that one of my brother's friends got a job in a smaller town because apparently the person that used to have his job got caught blowing the owner of the bowling alley at the bowling alley, so she got fired, and then
if you're the owner of a bowling alley, you should be allowed to be blown at if anybody should be.
I feel like it was like right behind the snack counter, like it was like just go behind a closed door, like so Misty Roberts from DeRidder, Louisiana. This sounds like the plot of an adult film. Her kids were having a pool party and she banged her son's 16-year-old friend. Now, I don't condemn this at all, but she is totally
stacked. You mean
stacked.
Condone?
Yes, I don't condone this at all, but she's completely stacked.
Okay, I think condemn would mean arguably the opposite.
Yeah, exactly the opposite. But
I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, Misty Roberts, super hot, also happens to be the mayor of the town. And the reason that she got caught is that she DoorDashed Plan B the next morning.
Was that a mission on Tony Hawk's Underground?
Yeah, a mom banged some underage kid. You need to go take the Plan B pill to her.
And the rider's just a lawyer who specializes.
Well, and this guy had the poor DoorDash driver had to testify at this trial, which is still ongoing right now. I like imagine just being like, I'm gonna drive DoorDash and make a couple quick extra bucks, and you just get engulfed in this political scandal about pedophilia.
Yeah, you're just trying to grind it out, make a few extra bucks. And I guarantee whoever this DoorDash or Uber Eats or whatever driver was, I'm willing to bet there is some regret. They're like, I knew I shouldn't have logged in that day
Yeah.
and I knew I shouldn't have taken that order.
Yeah, but apparently, like the reason she ordered, the mom of the kid that she had sex with found out about it and texted her and asked her if she was pregnant. And then told her to go get I'm like, I feel like you should just go to the cops, not tell the lady that just banged your son to go get a morning after pill.
This sounds just like a mess.
Yeah, and all the fact that she's the mayor of this town of like 10,000 people in Louisiana, even better.
Do you think Homeboy testified and then like towards the end of his questioning, do you think he was like, am I free to go? I got a couple pizzas in the queue that I got to go pick up a few blocks away.
Peter needs a bunch of fresh strawberries, and I'm the only DoorDash driver in town, so
if we're done with the questioning, I would like to leave for the day.
Yeah. But yeah, this chick is super hot. So yeah, caught my eye. Great story. Great small town scandal story. I can't wait to see it unfold.
Yeah, we'll have to stay on top of that one. Because No Brains, No Headache it's your number one news source.
Yeah, it's at jury trial right now, so can't imagine this is going good.
You're not required to testify, are you? I mean, that's totally your choice, right?
I feel like a guy driving for DoorDash doesn't know how to get out of it.
Well, I was just thinking like, because that's just taking up your time of your day. And if you're door dashing, time is money.
Well, I feel like, I guess DoorDash isn't like, if you have a full-time job and you get drawn for jury duty, you'll still get paid.
Well, that's what I'm saying is Homeboy or girl, whoever it may be, they're probably like, I don't want to go testify. I have things to do. Like you're just trying to, show up for work and, make a few extra bucks, like we said, and now you're just fully invested in some sort of trial.
And well, apparently they're trying to have this jury trial, but they can't find enough jurors because everyone knows who she is because she's the fucking mayor of the city.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's brutal. We got some more news. This is this past week. Valley News Live is the source for this one. The headline reads, police say Cole Indiana Jones pulled a gun on a man at Herd and Horns bar in the early morning hours of February 19th. A second witness told police Jones had earlier lifted his shirt to show him the firearm. I don't know if we have enough to convict here. If somebody shows you a gun that it's like they're strapped, maybe just leave them alone.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd ever put a gun in my waistband because dollars to donuts, I'm going to shoot my dick off.
Fun fact, I actually was the doorman at Herd and Horns.
Also, fun fact, Herd and Horns was the very first sponsor of this podcast.
Thank you, Nick.
Classic. Also, great.
Is this our fault? Did we cause this?
I think there's a butterfly effect. Like if we didn't go there and get blackout drunk that one weekend, this doesn't happen.
If No Brains, No Headache doesn't get sponsored by Herd and Horns 5 years ago, Cole Indiana Jones is a free man today. So maybe we did a favor.
I want to know what this kid's siblings are named.
Well, it because I screenshotted it and sent it to you
Yeah.
right away, and obviously what caught my eye was
his legal name is Indiana
Cole.
Jones.
Like if they post this on April 1st,
Yeah, you know.
but it was February 20th or whatever.
Well, I
Police
think
say Cole Indiana Jones. Why didn't he have a whip?
I think newspapers need to get more creative with their April 1st stuff. Like they just go way over the top. Like one year they're like the Metrodome, the city of Bismarck's buying the dome and it is gonna go over the community bowl. I'm like, that's obviously fake. But like the one year I was driving to work or going to lunch or something, and on the news I saw like 4 people brutally murdered in Mandan, and I thought it was like an April
Fool's joke.
April. I was like, that's really dark, guys. Nope, turns out 4 people did get murdered. So that's on me.
Yeah,
T's and
April
P's.
Fool's Day is not a great day for news outlets.
No.
Breaking huge headlines involving
I think it should be like
murder.
a day of no news. Like we're shut down for the day.
April Fool's Day for me is a lot like Mother's Day or Valentine's Day or National like Siblings Day, where it's just like I don't want to see any of this, so therefore I just stay off social media for a day. But yeah, Indiana Jones, he's looking for a lawyer. So if he's got any sort of capability of making a rider for his jail cell, I highly recommend a lawyer.
A bullwhip.
Also, if there's a gun to your neck, I feel like you have lost. Whatever the argument or fight was, if there's a gun to your neck, we just got to throw up the white flag.
I want to know what the fight was about, because I've been in that bar. Like I'm imagining it's like you lost in air hockey and you're just like, damn it.
Big buck hunter. He
Yeah.
shot a bigger deer than him.
So he pulls out a gun and shoots the actual machine.
Matt, do you want to take this other headline that we sent to each other?
Yeah, let me pull it up.
It's a real doozy.
Okay. A Kentucky man reportedly covered in fur was taken into custody after he was allegedly caught having sex with a dead deer on the side of the road. I don't want to stereotype this guy at all, but he looks like he would be that guy.
Like if anybody looked like they would have sex with a dead deer on the side of the road, this guy definitely,
Do you
matches
notice that he's like 5'3"?
Oh, I didn't notice that. Now I do.
So he has to look even weirder because he's like 5'3", 600 pounds, just plowing a dead deer.
Yeah, his name is probably John Darth Vader or some shit. The way these are going. Also, I don't know if anybody's ever, went deer hunting and got a deer and had to harvest it and gut it and process it, but I can't imagine the smell's great. You ever think about that, of like how cops have to deal with just like the smelliest, most disgusting humans?
Yeah, like the one dude that at a Nashville bar, he tried to use his colostomy bag as a weapon.
That'd be pretty effective.
Yeah, at that point, you're free to go because I don't want to get covered in someone else's shit.
Like, how Homeboy showed his gun in his waistband? That's very equivalent to somebody being like, oh, you want to keep talking shit? And then he shows the colostomy bag talking shit, quite literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that. I imagine that the Kentucky law enforcement, they showed up to the scene of the crime, and I'm assuming backup was called, so there was multiple vehicles there, and you've definitely seen it before in videos of arrests happening, and like they get the cuffs and they're in custody, and they go like, oh, hey, Detective Matt, I'm gonna throw him in the back of your car. And the guy's like, no, whoa, that's where I'm gonna draw the line here.
At that point, his name was Alan. I'm assuming they just strapped him to the roof of a cruiser and just drove him down.
They brought the canine out to the front seat and threw him in the canine kennel in the back.
Also, like, without knowing the state, and if you heard a guy covered in deer fur was having sex with a deer on the side of a road, what state would you go to?
Kentucky
Yeah, it's either Kentucky, West
Or-
Virginia.
or Louisiana, I'd throw up there.
Yeah, certain parts. Louisiana's more on the mayor banging underage kids spectrum of the crime.
I'll throw like Florida, and then I'll even throw like a Nevada in there.
Yeah, I mean the Florida, there was a guy he tied up an alligator and was having sex with it. And he's like, I'm not gay or anything. I just need to teach it a lesson. I'm like, okay, what are we doing here?
Like, I know that the websites have become more and more difficult to access, but there's still a way. Why don't you just, hang out in the privacy of your own home and do what you need to do to not have sex with an animal?
Yeah. If that's where it comes to, go ahead and park your car in your garage and shut the door, leave the car running.
Just keep her running.
Let me ask you this. You go to a breakfast place and you can order one whole breakfast and you're starving. What's your breakfast order?
Breakfast is it's a real doozy. I don't know. I'm just, my policy. I'm just not like, I'll still go out to have breakfast, but I'm just not crazy about going out to have food that I very well could just make at home.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I probably got to go with some sort of waffle. You're not going to see me fire up waffles at home. But like when you go out to breakfast and you just get like 2 fried eggs, toast, bacon, and hash browns, it's like you could have literally made all of that in like one pan at your home.
See, that's why I'm a chicken and waffles guy with a side of biscuits and gravy, and then throw like a fried egg on top of the chicken and waffle, and then maybe some like breakfast potatoes or something like that.
Plus, I would argue that the bacon situation at most breakfast joints is skeptical at best.
Yeah, it's the bacon you get from the grocery store. That's one of those things that bacon you cook at your house, even if it's on a stovetop or like however you cook it, is going to be better than what you get at any restaurant.
Yeah, when I first rolled into Arizona, I stayed at a hotel my first 2 nights here. And I literally just kind of like Googled one that was like close to where I had to be the next day. Didn't really do much prep ahead of time, which probably, could have done, could have had a little better experience. But they're like, oh, free continental breakfast. So I was like, cool. Free continental breakfast arguably could be one of the biggest scams in American history. It was like powdered eggs. And the first day they did have like little sausage links that were actually pretty good. So I was like, sweet. That wasn't too bad. The next day they just had the same powdered eggs, probably left over and warmed up from the day before.
It all spends the same.
And bacon. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like, love bacon and I can have as much as I want. Because that's the other thing about going out to eat breakfast is like you order bacon and it comes with 2 strips of bacon.
Yeah, you're like, cool. Oh, okay. I eat that in one bite.
Pretty much. This bacon was like so thin that it was transparent. You could see through it. And then it like when you ate it, it pretty much just dissolved in your mouth. Whereas if you just buy grocery store bacon, throw it on a big pan, throw it in the oven, so you don't even have to like really deal with it. That bacon's going to be better. Yep. And you can make it how you want. Do you like it, a little more floppy and not as done, or do you want it really done and crispy?
Dude, sometimes what I like to do is just get some breakfast sausage, kind of mash it up, take a couple tortillas, make some scrambled eggs, fry up the tortillas, eggs, sausage, little salsa in there, down the hatch.
Have you seen the YouTube video with the Wonton Don from Barstool, and then he's with Paul Bissonnette, and they
Oh,
go
and when
to
he's
a-
ordering food and he does like a 40-minute order.
Yeah, I tried to pull it up really quick. Medium eggs, whatever that means, bacon, extra crispy hash browns, pancakes instead of toast or biscuits. And then he asked the lady if they had freshly squeezed orange juice. And then she comes back later, and the Wonton Don was like, "Was that a high maintenance order?" And without skipping a beat, she's like,
Yes.
"Yeah."
All right.
Ready to get into it?
Yeah, this is a special treat. Jordan, great pick because I picked a random year. We are doing the Olympics of movies from 2007. And I don't know if Jordan knew this or not. 2007 is one of the greatest movie years in the last 100 years.
Well, you threw out 2008, which was just fine. I just peeked at what the options were, and then I just Googled what are the best movie years from 2000 to 2025, and it said 2007 was one of those options. So I mean,
I would argue
the beauty of this is we can do it as much as we want in the future with really any year, but 2007 is where we're at.
Because I think 1994 and 2007 are in our lifetimes the best movie years, and there's not a close second. I went through a list and I grabbed 14 different movies, and I think I missed some.
Well, this is going to be a real moment's notice thing. Obviously, we just planned it right before we started recording.
Yep.
So it's going to be a lot of adjusting on the fly. Matt, why don't you go first this week? I'll give it to you.
Okay. So the Olympics of movies from 2007. I'm gonna go gold medal. Superbad.
Damn it.
Superbad's up there. It's probably in
bitch.
my top 10 favorite movies of all time. It's the most quotable, holds up still. I'm gonna be honest with you. I meant to pick another movie, but I just said Superbad, and I'm gonna stick with it.
Well, you picked a really good one. And like I said, I'm gonna have to adjust on the fly. That's just part of the game. That's what athletes do. They adjust. We're gonna handle the adversity the best we can and move on. There's so many good picks from this year. If you're listening right now, it might be worth, just Googling 2007 movies and seeing what you got. So with my gold medal pick, Olympics of 2007 movies, I got to go with just an instant classic and pick No Country for Old Men. Coen Brothers film that is starring Javier Bardem, Tommy Lee Jones, Josh Brolin, Woody Harrelson's also in there.
That's one I missed. That wasn't on my list, but it should have been. Great pick.
I just, at this point, I felt as if I needed to go with some real punching power. And it's so funny because Josh Brolin's character is literally everyone. Like, what do you do if you find a case full of money and then a bunch of dead people? You take the money and run, obviously. But because of that movie, if I ever come into a large sum of money, I'm going to check for some sort of geo-tracking device stuffed within the money so I don't get hunted down by some lunatic.
I know
just
full
shoot
well
through doors.
if I ever find money, it's going to be from a bank job, and I'm going to open it up and just get sprayed in the face with the dye pack. And then have to convince the cops that I didn't rob the bank as I'm just all blue. All right.
Well,
silver.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Silver medal. This is wildly difficult. I'm going to go with, it's my TNT movie. I'm going to go with Shooter.
Great movie. It was definitely up there on my list. My non-existent list. Shooter's great because it gives you faith that if you're ever in a tight spot like he is, that you can just unplug the electricity from a convenience store, not get caught on camera.
Yeah, and
If I learned anything from this movie, it's that if you put a bunch of sugar and water, then inject it into your arm, you're going to be back to full health within a few days.
yeah, and also that this movie makes me think that everyone's a terrible shot because they somehow like, oh, and I can also just hold on to a tugboat and go down the Mississippi River and be fine. I think he travels like 200 miles holding on to a tugboat and no one notices.
Well, where does it first happen? In Washington, D.C.?
I thought it was Philadelphia.
Or Philadelphia, okay, East Coast. Because at one point, it just cuts to a new scene and it just says, is it Butte, Montana or Billings, Montana or whatever it is? It's like, okay, how did we went from Philly to Montana all of a sudden?
And they're like, I know where we should meet, on top of a mountain. And it's like, okay. I mean, I'm downplaying my own movie, but I like it. Good pick. Silver medal, Shooter.
Shooter is also the type of movie that gives me faith that if I ever have to perform surgery on somebody or somebody ever has to perform surgery on me, I can just go buy a bunch of cans of whipped cream and just do a bunch of whippets till I pass out, and that'll be good as anesthesia.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. That gives me the faith that I know if I had to do surgery on someone, I would throw up inside them.
I love how he's like, weren't you in nursing school? And she's like, no, I gave that up. I'm a kindergarten teacher now.
He's like, I couldn't handle the blood. And he's like, by the way, can you stitch me up? And like his organs fall out.
It's like Jesus on the cross with his kidney hanging out the side. Yeah. All right. Excellent pick so far because we have an excellent list to choose from. I got to go with one of my personal favorites for my silver medal round. I'm going to pick Into the Wild. Fantastic film with Emile Hirsch as Christopher McCandless or Alexander Supertramp.
Is he the guy in A Girl Next Door?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love movies that are essentially biopics based off of a true story. I'm sure a lot of us had to read Into the Wild in school at some point. I think I still have a copy. Like I just always keep a copy of Into the Wild. That and Boxcar Children Volume 1. It's just one of those.
Talk about edge of your seat reading, man.
But yeah, Into the Wild with Emile Hirsch, Kristen Stewart's in there. Vince Vaughn is also just a farmer slinging black boxes, like in the 2000s or whenever it took place. But pretty cool story. Into the Wild is definitely like you remember when American Sniper came out and you'd go watch it and you'd be like 10 beers deep and you'd be like, I'm the first thing in the morning, I'm joining the military.
Yeah, it's like I'm filling out a postcard to join the Marines and you're like, what am I doing? I can't swim.
Into the Wild's the type of movie where you watch it, you're 10 beers deep and like you already start packing a bag to go into the Alaskan wilderness. Like you start burning all your cash. You wake up the next morning, there's just a bunch of ash in your sink, and you check your wallet. You're like, fuck, I burned all my cash from last night.
I think one time I watched this movie, Never Back Down, and I was like, that's it. I'm working out first thing in the morning. And I set my alarm for like 4:30 in the morning, just shit faced.
You just fall asleep for 15 minutes and your alarm goes off. You're like, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was like. Oh, fuck it, I'm good.
Turn that off.
Yeah. All right. Bronze medal. I'm gonna go with Hot Rod. It is an all-timer for me. I watch it at least probably once a month.
Hot Rod's classic. It's the Let's Party sound clip that we have at the beginning of each show, or after housekeeping, I should say. Now, this is an interesting point of the Olympics, because now there's just like a bunch of good movies, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm going to Reddit. That's how far we're digging down. I don't even know what I want.
I went to IMDb and it gave like the top 150 ranked movies based on like audience ratings. And that's what I went through.
I have IMDb top 20 movies of 2007.
I think you can go down and hit more.
Can I? I also don't want to pick a movie that I've like seen half of. Because there's let's just say there's gonna be a shitload of honorable mentions.
Yeah, I have one DQ that I objectively actually I got quite a few DQs.
Sports movies? Do I go through that? I
I
don't
think
really.
we are Marshals in there.
Is it?
We are hold everyone dies.
Gosh, I feel like I'm on the clock and I'm just cracking under pressure. There's a lot of really good ones. Ooh, that could be. Hold, I just gotta Google something real quick just to fact check.
Yeah, that's fine. I have to take a shit. Oh, The Girl Next Door was in. Oh wait,
Big year.
no, that's a horror movie with the same name.
Okay, because I did see on one list that 300 was an option, but it was actually a 2006 movie, so I'm gonna not choose that one. Fuck, what do I go with here?
I could give you 20 picks right now.
I just feel like there's such a big drop off.
Knocked Up, I Am Legend, Pursuit of Happiness, 30 Days of Night.
Yeah, no, you mentioned some that I'm considering. All right, for my bronze medal pick, I'm just gonna go with a really inspirational one and go with Pursuit of Happiness. Once again, another biopic based on a true story. I love movies like that where you just like you see them just grind away.
Yeah.
And like eventually reach their goal. Because what does he sell? Bone density scanners or some shit?
I mean, the only main problem I have with the movie is there's just a lot of Asians.
I was gonna say black people, but
I'm just kidding. I think there's one Asian, and it's the daycare lady. When all they do is she like pays like $6 a month for daycare, and all they do is watch like rom-com sitcoms.
Yeah, they're getting upset that there's $6 a month babysitters not like educating them properly.
Yeah. It's like, and also like, oh, you're super poor and can't afford your apartment. Maybe don't live in the most expensive city in the US. Like, I can't afford my downtown San Francisco apartment anymore. It's like, here's a wild idea. Move 20 minutes to the east.
The Pursuit of Happiness is the type of movie that showed me that if I'm in a tough spot, I can get fully cleaned with some sort of public restroom. The old prison shower.
Yeah.
Not even in prison.
Ass, mouth, vag.
In that order.
Yeah. And his stupid kid's an idiot. Can't even realize that they're homeless.
Or when he gives them the birthday present, it's very clearly a basketball wrapped. He's like, what is it? I don't know what it is.
I love when these kids like, I'm going to the NBA and like can't hit the rim. And he's like, you're not going to the fucking NBA. His kid
I don't want you to think you're going to the show because you're not.
Just
good parenting.
Classic.
I'll go with Pursuit of Happiness.
That's
Do
a
they
good
spell
one.
it right?
Yeah, I spelled it with a Y.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna go with my lost in the medal round. I'm gonna go with Transformers.
Brutal.
The first Transformers movie is cinematic genius. Megan Fox in the first Transformers movie is what dreams are made of.
I will agree with that statement. However, what ruined Transformers for me and why I didn't pick it was just because of all the subsequent Transformers.
The first 3 Transformers are awesome. The first Mark Wahlberg one, not bad. After that, terrible.
Well, how many do they have now?
Like 7. Dude, okay. I ordered this very sketchy box that I can watch like any TV show and
you're gonna be Vince Vaughn from Into the Wild. You get caught with that bad boy.
Oh, it's I turn it on and it's in like Korean and it goes Taya! it turns, and it's all, no matter what the level is, it's just super fucking loud.
It's always just the loudest thing in the
And
world.
I realized I turned on one of the Transformers when I got back from the bar on Friday night. I was just wasted, and I watched like 25 minutes of it, and then I realized that the entire thing was in Italian.
It's because you got stoned and you're staring at the wall. You weren't even watching the movie.
Yeah, it was great. But yeah, first Transformers, awesome.
I'll admit, it's a pretty sweet movie. But if you were to ask me, if you were to say, hey, Jordan, are you discriminating against Transformers because Josh Duhamel eventually ended up in them? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
I refuse to support him.
Josh Duhamel was in the first Transformers. I remember one of your interviews that you did. You just had zero concept of what Transformers Josh Duhamel was actually in. And I think you're like, yeah, he wasn't in the first three, but then he was in the other ones. And in fact, he was in the first three and then not in the other ones.
Just shows you how much I care about Josh Duhamel. Yeah. I want to get him on the podcast sometime for an interview and then just open with, so I've been trashing you for the last 5 years, right?
It's just open up with, dude. Open up with what's your problem?
Just stare at him the whole time, shake my head. What's your problem, man?
Yeah. All right, Lost in the Metal Round. Then let's get out of here.
I'll go Lost in the Metal Round. I'll go with Knocked Up. Just a classic comedy film with an insane cast.
Yeah, unbelievable cast.
Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill's in there, Paul Rudd.
The guy that plays Guilfoyle in Silicon Valley.
That guy. Judd Apatow's wife, who's the Hooters girl from Big Daddy. Sorry, I don't know her name off the top of my head. I'm not going to look it up. But what I love about Knocked Up is I still quote that movie to this day. The best quote, in my opinion, from Knocked Up is the morning after they go out and they hook up or whatever. They just cut to the scene and he's just laying naked in her bed and she's getting ready to go to work for the day like a normal human. And his ass is just hanging out. She's kind of kicking the bed or whatever. And Seth Rogen goes, "Fuck off, Martin." And she keeps on hitting the bed and he goes, "I said fuck off, Martin." Because he thinks it's his roommate and he wakes up. And he's like, "What time is it?" And she's like, 7:30 or whatever she says. And he goes, "Why are we awake? Let's go back to bed."
Isn't she like, "Don't you have to go to work?" And he's like, "Not the way you do work."
Yeah, he explains that he got into an accident years ago and he's just been living off the lawsuit money since. I love it when they just trash the roommate because he can't shave or cut his hair, and then
how is it being the first American to join the Taliban?
Jason Segel, he's in that one.
Yeah. Okay.
I love when they final note on Knocked Up. I love when they find out because they're creating that website that shows you or tells you exactly when there's nudity in movies.
Fleshofthestars.com.
And then they find out about Mr. Skin, and they're just like, son of a bitch.
What does he say when he's like 22 minutes in, Kate Bush, full bush?
Meg Ryan, surprisingly, full bush. Honorable mentions. There's about 1 million of them.
I got National Treasure, Book of Secrets, Stomp the Yard, Children of Men, Zodiac, Hot Fuzz, 30 Days of Night, and The Mist.
Fracture is a really good crime thriller with Anthony Hopkins and Ryan Gosling, super underrated. I saw that one. So, Matt, you know how there's we had movie night, or you guys still have movie night, and it's always don't pick a shitty movie, but I'm notorious for that. So I remember years and years ago, well, after 2007, obviously, me and a few of the fellas maybe were there. I don't really remember many details, but they're like, "Oh, let's watch a movie." And I'm like, "Oh, there's this movie called There Will Be Blood that's supposed to be really good." And it is like, don't get me
Yeah,
like, if you really like break it down, it actually is a really good film. But it's also one of just like the slowest movies ever because I remember we watched it and at one point, like 45 minutes into the movie, I looked around and everyone was just fast asleep.
that'll happen.
Did you say Juno?
Juno's on my disqualification. I hated that movie. And then Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End is also on there for me.
It's that was that year's biggest global earner.
Yeah.
Is what I'm reading here. I Am Legend. I Am Legend was the type of movie where it was just like, oh,
If they
I
didn't
can-
kill the dog, it's a 10 out of 10.
but I think the killing of the dog is what really just
Yeah.
tugs at the old heartstrings. I went like deep into I Am Legend when that came out. I think I Am Legend came out around the same time like Zombies and COD came out ish, somewhere like
Yeah.
kind of a
Well, and-
similar era.
28 days later and 28 weeks later came out.
So it was just like a huge era for zombies.
Yep.
Like I remember when all that was happening and like obviously still living at home with my parents like as a teenager and just going around the garage and just grabbing items that I thought I could use as a weapon in the event of some sort of zombie apocalypse. Did you
Yeah.
do the same thing?
Oh, all the time. I bought weapons that I thought I needed for zombie apocalypse.
I went to the pantry and hid some canned goods in the
Yeah.
back of my closet, just in case.
I stole Denko Andy's throwing stars during that time.
Just to prep for
Yeah.
a zombie apocalypse.
I do. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Mist.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they're stuck in the grocery store for like 2 hours and somehow completely turn. Like they just throw the military guy out into the mist. Like, like how did this like devolve? Like you guys went from like, yeah, we should probably stay put to like, we're gonna kill this guy.
Why not? I did see a trailer for a new movie. I don't remember the name, but it's a horror film with Sean William Scott. It actually looks terrifying. So
Is it
That's my-
called Psycho Killer?
maybe it's like with like they're like hiking in a forest and they come across like a bunch of like dolls nailed to trees and stuff, and then like they like compare it to like Texas Chainsaw Massacre because the killer in the movie has like a doll mask on, and then I'm not sure, judging by the trailer, if Sean William Scott's character gets killed off rather early. But they take
it's called Dolly.
yeah, they take his wife or girlfriend or whoever she is to him in that movie, like hostage and like treat her like it looks absolutely terrifying. I was just throwing that out there, but I think that's our episode for this week. So everybody, thank you so much for listening. Check us out on socials. Make sure you watch on YouTube, subscribe, comment, tell your friends and family. We'll be back next week with episode 289. Thanks for listening.
Hey, no brains, no headache listeners.
No